There are thousands of legitimate charitable organizations that do exemplary work in American society, and you've heard a lot from a lot of them and heard a lot about them today. The tax treatment of these charities and those who donate to them is not an issue for BCFC. What is an issue is when nonprofit organizations operate in direct and unfair competition with private, for-profit, tax-paying businesses, including small businesses, by engaging in commercial activities but not paying taxes. Billions of dollars a year in economic activity occurs that is untaxed. This results in lost revenue to the federal government as well as state and local government, and it creates an unlevel playing field for the private sector and particularly small business. Entities organized under various provisions of Section 501C of the Internal Revenue Code are provided a special tax-exempt treatment which were clearly intended to perform activities and provide services that are otherwise considered governmental in nature. It was not intended that they use this privilege to engage in activities that are commercially available. The exemption for charitable and other purposes is based on the assumption that such organizations are providing general welfare services and be part of our social safety net, and that government would otherwise have to provide those services with appropriated funds. So in its wisdom, the Congress traded off the requirement to spend tax money directly with a tax benefit to offset what these organizations legitimately provide. It was never the intention of Congress that these organizations should be engaged in providing commercially available products and services. The nonprofit organizations provided special treatment under Section 501C are required to pay an unrelated business income tax, or UBIT, on their commercial or non-exempt activities. The problem is that this policy has not been adequately codified by Congress, nor effectively and efficiently implemented by the IRS. In our testimony, we provide a number of resources that we would encourage the committee to explore. Under the chairmanship of Congressman Jake Pickle of Texas in the 1980s, this committee conducted an exhaustive investigation of this issue and the lack of enforcement of UBIT. The Small Business Administration, the Government Accountability Office, and the Philadelphia Inquirer all have done exhaustive studies, and we have those cited in our testimony and commend them to your attention. What am I talking about with regard to commercial activities performed by nonprofit organizations? Well, it's the YMCAs competing with private health clubs. YMCAs perform extraordinary services for at-risk youth. Those are legitimate. Those should have the benefit of special treatment for their contributions to society. But when a local small business gym or health club has to compete with a tax-subsidized or a specially treated YMCA, that's unfair competition. Credit unions compared to community banks, same situation. Rural electric and telephone cooperatives competing with investor-owned utilities and small business energy firms. We've seen situations where nonprofits have been created to compete with private bicycle rental companies, laundry services, and a variety of other activities. We see universities venturing outside of the classroom and into owning and operating and running hotels, mapping services, and testing laboratories. It occurs in dozens of other industries and professions. It is only when we move beyond hidden subsidies and ineffectual regulations of UBIT that both consumers and producers and all taxpayers will be able to enjoy the benefit of a level playing field and even-handed competition. We would urge the committee to look at implementing a commerciality clause and thus implement the Yellow Pages test. If there's something that you can find from private business in the Yellow Pages, then you probably shouldn't have government doing it, and you probably shouldn't be providing special tax treatment for a nonprofit to do it. It's a very simple common sense test. So we commend the very charitable and social welfare activities that most charities provide, but we would urge your attention to commercial activities where the system is being abused and resulting in unfair competition with private enterprise and particularly small business. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity.
John, I think you pointed out a very interesting thought in making sure that there are organizations out there that aren't in it to create revenue for themselves and compete with private businesses, but they really are truly there to help folks who really need help. And that's one of the things that we'll be looking at, too, as we have our working groups.